Relations between these two communities were mostly antagonistic for the first 150 years. And this was actually mostly focused around the city of Fez, because a very, very important and large Jewish community had already been existing in Fez, which was the seat of the imperial capital. And then the Sephardim, the Megorashim, arrived to Fez in masses because the Sultan actually sent donkeys and help for them to be greeted at the ports and brought to Fez to integrate the city of Fez after the expulsion. So these large groups of Sephardi families settled in Fez, and the negotiation between these two communities began. It's interesting because we have documents of the drasha, of the sermons of rabbis during this time period, and sometimes they were in Arabic, sometimes they were in Spanish, sometimes they were in Hebrew, and interestingly enough, in the 17th century, we have already still on a dry period, they were talking about the importance of a prayer for rain, which is something that actually the Jewish community does until today, is to pray for rain when rain is needed in the synagogue at the request of the palace. So at this point in the 17th century, there was a drasha of a rabbi in a synagogue in Fez in Hebrew, Arabic, and Spanish. So it's interesting to know that we have these communities that are struggling to integrate. The Sephardi that want to impose their right, their synagogue right, and that also will not marry their daughters to Toshavim. So in the ketubas from Megorashim, from Castilla, there were special clauses that protected the wife in the laws of inheritance. The ketubot for the Bildiin, for the Megorashim, actually did not protect the wife in the same manner, but gave all the inheritance to the children, or gave the wife a part equal to the children. So Megorashim from Castilla, they actually did not want to marry their daughters to Bildiin because they did not want them to have those ketubas, those marriage contracts. There was also an issue with the ritual slaughter, and they actually were able to impose their own ritual slaughter and said that they would not eat the meat of the butchers of the Toshavim. And so after a fusional process, eventually the Sephardi right won. However, Amazigh and Judeo-Arabic were still spoken at home and were spoken in the street with the neighbors, and only few communities in the north kept speaking Judeo-Spanish. Those communities, the largest ones are Tangier and Tetuan, and the smaller ones are Chefchaouen, Asila, Larache, and Ksar el Kebir. So there were basically 5 different cities in northern Morocco that decided to keep Judeo-Spanish as their language, and the rest of Moroccan Judaism spoke Judeo-Arabic or Judeo-Berber.